tell the folks out there why you think it could be Lane Kiffin versus Mario Cristobal for Sam Leavitt.
Well, it's not any secret that Mario's not afraid to go out and take a portal quarterback, and he's had tremendous success with it. And they're going to have another roster next year. I mean, just my opinion. I love roster management stuff. That's my bag. I think Miami has a top 10 roster, but if you don't have a quarterback, you're screwed. We all know that this sport goes as your quarterback goes. Are they going to trust Emory Williams? I doubt it. I know you probably feel the same from some conversations I've had with you, unless you've had a change of heart. And Sam's a mobile guy. He's similar to Cam, that is more annoying. Nothing against Carson Beck, but he's not striking fear into defensive ends. It would be really hard with Malachi, like running RPO if you had Sam. Like, I didn't realize how athletic he was until I went and watched film of him this year. He can scoot. And you put Sam in that offense, well, about any really, but you give him Malachi and what, I don't know. You tell me, Alex, is there going to be a better running back room in college football next year than the Canes?
Oh, gosh, I don't think
Probably
so.
not. I mean, I would take Miami's over anybody's.
Yeah.
It's not that hard. So it's an easy pick. They're going to spend money. If you're saying you're going to play for a top 10 team, it would be surprising if that's not an option. Now, for LSU, this is pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah.
If you're a quarterback, Lane Kiffin's pretty attractive.
Yeah.
And they don't have anything there, but they've got receivers, they've got running backs, they've got a really young offensive line. Yeah, I think those are the two obvious choices, and maybe Sam has something else that he wants. The wild card there is the University of Oregon. If Dante Moore turns pro, for those who don't know, Sam is from West Lynn, Oregon.
I did not know that. Wow.
Yeah, he is from the state. It's weird because he went to Michigan State, redshirted, then transferred to Arizona State. Kids from Oregon going to Michigan State. That's bizarre. But he ends up at ASU. He's had a pretty good year the last couple of seasons, but he got hurt this season. He has the infamous Liz Frank foot injury. He wouldn't be back until probably summer or whatever, but you already know what you're getting. I mean, he's an NFL quarterback. So LSU, Miami, those are the two. A wild card here. If Joey Aguilar does not end up back at Tennessee, they got deep pockets and they need to win next year, and they've got a pretty good roster. Tennessee could throw some cash at him too before they kind of matriculated towards Faison Brandon, their 5-star quarterback that's coming in this spring.
It's funny because, like, sometimes when these big-time quarterbacks become available, certain guys are like, oh, I always dreamed of playing in the SEC. For a kid from Oregon, I don't know if that's necessarily the case, if he grew up fantasizing about the SEC. Like, from the Miami point of view, how much do you think it helps Miami that obviously the big success story was Cam Ward 2 years ago, who was penciled in as a third-day draft pick, and he comes to Miami. He ends up number 1 overall, and he's at the Heisman ceremony. You know, like the Carson Beck thing, not like quite as big of like an upward trajectory, but I do think Beck improved his stock and he's able to get into the college football playoff at Miami. So recent success with these past 2 portal QBs, that's got to help Miami's case, right?
How could it not? Miami's offense is attractive. You produced the first pick in the draft, and you helped resurrect a guy that weirdly went down last year at Georgia. Now he's back up again. Yeah. So if you're a quarterback, I mean, we're both fond of the offensive scheme in general. I don't think it's going to be any problem. And again, having Malachi and some other young JoJo, et cetera, it's not hard to sell that. You're going to have playmakers, and you would tell him, hey, we're going to try to go get a playmaker, which one of them we're going to talk about here in a minute.
Yeah.
There's going to be plenty of receivers. You don't have to get the number 1 guy.
Right.
I mean, the 2 guys they got this year, like CJ and Mary, those guys are good. They weren't like top 3 receivers in the portal, but they've helped them a lot. They wouldn't be in the playoff without them. Even if you just got one guy like that to go with what they have returning, Sam or any other quarterback Miami would go after. Again, this is a top 10 roster. You just plug and play a few extra pieces offensively, defensively. You should be in a pretty good spot.
All right, I got to ask you the question that dozens, if not hundreds, of Miami fans have asked me every time I talk about transfer quarterbacks, okay? Because you're also a recruiting expert. If Miami goes into the portal again for a quarterback, is there a concern about, like, how do you recruit quarterbacks out of high school moving forward if you go into the portal 3 straight years? Like, do you think that's a legitimate concern, or should it even be a concern? Because again, teams including Miami have had a lot of success the last couple of years getting top line starters through the portal.
It's a great question. And unfortunately, there isn't one answer. Let me use a couple other examples. Last year, the two finalists, Ohio State and Notre Dame, they had some good young quarterbacks on their roster, but they chose portal.
Yeah.
Your fan base ain't going to be mad if you make it to the finals. If you're going to do it, though, you got to be successful.
Yes.
Let's be honest. Winning cures about everything. As for the guys coming up the ranks, that's subjective. There's a few parents that I communicate with that have elite sons and quarterbacks and recruits. That's something they look at. I got a phone call from a guy the other day. It changed what his kid was going to do based on a quarterback transferring out of school. I'm just going to leave it at that. Yeah. Like, it's all about depth chart. So you're rolling the dice a little bit, but this isn't the year I'd worry about it if I was Miami. It's going to be next year.
Yeah.
They're going to have two really good quarterbacks on campus that have had a chance to go through a year, et cetera. You know, obviously they're adding Darion Coleman this year. If they don't take one of the two young guys next year, as you know, we're going to let them battle it out in spring, blah, blah, then you would see at least one of them probably leave.
Yeah.
This year, like, I don't expect that. Maybe Emory Williams is probably going to leave. It'd be my guess. That, you know, if it is, you know what, it is what it is, because he waited I wouldn't blame Emory. Good guy, by the way.
I wouldn't either.
But he didn't do much in that bowl game last year, and he hasn't proven it in their eyes in practice, or else they wouldn't have portaled this year. So sometimes you're going to lose a little bit, but everybody loses players. Georgia loses players. Ohio State loses players. Notre Dame loses players. Texas loses players. It's part of the era we're in. Yeah. The idea is to, at the end of the day, have more addition than subtraction. It is what it is.